two items, I think. Inquiry. And then okay, it's 1:56, and we will get started with our curriculum committee meeting. It is Thursday, March the 5th, and we have a couple of agenda items. We have Mr. Elias Velasquez here, and myself. Item number 1, discuss recognition of campus teachers for the month of February.
Good afternoon. The teachers for the month of February for Arte Bonito is Alicia Martinez, Rio Elementary, Daniel Martinez Jr., La Unión Elementary, Lisa Varial, Dr. Ramirez Elementary, Evelyn Salinas, J.N.O. Hinojosa Elementary, Claudia Trevino, Ringo Elementary, Lorraine Garcia, Ace Elementary, Antonia Lopez, Alberto and Celia Barrera Elementary, Adriana Lopez, Roque Guerra Jr. Elementary, Mónica Hernández, General Ricardo Sánchez Elementary, Claudia Rivera, Ace Elementary Middle School, Gloria González, Ringo Middle School, Osiel Garcia, Veterans Middle School, Erica Falcón, Gruya Middle School, Adriana Salinas, Rio Grande City High School, Rebecca Rubio, Elementary Early College High School, Emma Terrino, Gruya High School, Ismael Sanchez, Alternative Center, Juan Garcia Jr. These are the teachers for the month of February.
Item number 2, discuss contract agreement to provide driver's ed instruction by RST Driving School to migrant students, Early College High School, Gruya, and Rio.
Good afternoon, everyone. What we're asking is permission for the migrant students to take a course, a class, to get their driver's license. And we have surveys. We had a meeting yesterday with migrant parents to see how many parents will be interested for their kids to have their driver's license. It's a course that they need to take. And migrant program is a supplementary service, and that's one of the needs that we saw that the students need. It will help them not only to take courses in STC or go in the afternoons or at night, but also to help their parents drive when they go to work in the summer. So we're asking permission for those 3 high schools to have their students take that course. And the lady, the instructor, she came yesterday. She talked to the parents because a lot of parents had questions. How are we going to do it if the students, they have sports, and they will make a class and arrangements for those students. I spoke to the parents that, I still needed to talk to the board, to present, and then we'll see from there.
Is this something that has been done before?
No.
We've never done this before.
No, but it's done in other districts, and I know that special ed department had already presented, and they have permission to do it with Gruya High School and Rio High School. They do not have permission for early college, but I would like for the 3 high schools to be.
And this is, you all would provide the funding?
Yes, it will be paid through migrant funding.
Awesome. Now, I know that we had some other driver's ed.
Special ed just presented last month, free to the students for special ed students.
Is that the same?
Same thing, but this is for migrants.
Same company?
Yeah, but is it the same?
The same company.
Now we do also have the regular ed students, 2 different companies that are providing.
That's what
Yes, and that actually was presented to the board early on this school year for regular ed. But with those driver ed courses, the students pay for those courses. But here, the funding is provided through the funding from migrant.
And how did you select the company or find that company?
We piggybacked off of special ed. Whatever special ed did is the company, that's when we got information, and that's how she selected that company.
Yeah, since you had already previously approved, then we thought, it's a good company.
How many students are in the deal?
I wanted to open it for 60 students. Yesterday, 45 parents and students attended the meeting. But after that, today I got calls from parents that they couldn't make it to the meeting, but they were still interested. 60 students.
So that's the max that you'll allow, 60?
We can open it for more.
I mean, it's in whatever
Yes.
need
The
we have.
funding, I guess.
Yeah,
You have the funding.
once we announce it.
See, the
we
funding
will-
is there.
Yeah, we will get called, I'm sure.
Because I'm sure that there's going to be a lot of,
Right.
actually, that they don't have to pay.
Right, it's not gonna be sealed off, in other words, no.
Yeah, that's what I thought maybe you had a limit.
No.
So, and they have to be how old?
They have to be 16 up. Yes.
Alrighty, that sounds like a great deal for them as well. Okay, so, I hope you can make that. Item number 3, discuss request for permission to attend the 52nd National Migrant Education Conference in Albuquerque, New Mexico, on the 3rd of May, through the May the 6th. Who's in that?
That's a, yes, it is the migrant department. We're also asking to be in compliance with the ESSA grant application. The migrant education program is seeking permission to attend this national state conference. And the people that I will be attending, it's myself, one coordinator, 2 counselors, 1 strategist, 1 teacher, 4 recruiters. They have never attended any of the conferences, and parents. We have parents in there.
And how are you going to select like the council? It's just all the migrant
Yeah, we
counselors?
have 3 migrant counselors, and 2 of them are interested. So it's just the department, the people that work, the staff directly with migrant students and the
How about
people-
teachers? Did you mention teachers?
Yes, we have, Sonia Salinas is one of the teachers also in the migrant department,
Oh, she's the only teacher.
and the other one is strategist.
Who's this?
All of these people work in the department, okay? 'Cause we don't hire teachers at the schools. Paid by migrant, we don't have that because,
And I know you have like the, there was a migrant computer lab.
yes, those are, but they're not funded through migrant. They're funded through General 199. But they do have a migrant lab. But because after 5 years, the migrant lab then becomes property of the district, so they no longer are covered through migrant funds. They fall under the district.
So they're under the district.
Right. So we do have 2 that help us out at the labs, but I don't know, you didn't put them in.
No, and they help us with the migrant club. I can
Yeah,
include them too.
Yeah, we can include them too, but we weren't sure. And the thing is that for the first time, we have a lot of fun. I think I spoke to you last time when I told you that we had gotten all that carryover money. Remember the plan that we had for a chance for children and all of that? This is like our migrant department received $1 million over $1 million in migrant funds. So we need to expend it before the end of the school year. One of the things that we've never been able to do is take all these people to a conference. We're including parents and we're including her staff because they're directly involved with the migrants.
This is all the staff and the people and the recruiters that take care of the recruitment that, we have more migrants thanks to all the work thanks to them, and the money that we receive is because of the hard work that.
And when you go to a national conference, you're getting direct, straight from the Department of Education. You're getting direct information. Once it gets to TA, to the state, it's already watered down. Once it gets to our region 1, it's watered down even more. So this is a great opportunity for us to be able to expose all of them to listen to what the Department of Education is saying for migrants, families. And one trend that we have found over the last 5 years is that there's been a steadily decline in migrant families. Why is that happening? Well, there was a boom, obviously, in oil drilling. So a lot of the families, instead of going up to work that, they're choosing to get a better paying job in that. So that's one.
Even teachers are doing that.
Yes. So, I mean, you can't blame them, but the decline has been there. In the past, we were not able to hire people for fencing in agriculture. Now we can hire people for fencing in agriculture, which was never a thing that we could do before. Now, all you have to do is go look for work out of the county. You don't have to go up north. You just have to go to the next county, Hidalgo County, go look for work there in agriculture, and you are considered a migrant because you went out looking for work because there was nothing here for you. So there's a lot of opportunities now. They're expanding the criteria so that more people can qualify for that, because there is a lot of money in migrant education. So,
And it also helps the district.
yes,
But
obviously.
everything that we recruit, all the members, is not only for the migrant department, but it's also for the district. When we need the snapshot, the 5%, and we go over.
You do very
We're
well.
one of the districts that, we work very hard and we go over the 5%.
And let me just, not because she's here, but when we came in, there was a huge monitor situation with the migrant department. It was so critical that they sent it over a monitor to be here in-house. And we came in at the same time, her and I, and, we went from begging people to show us what to do in the migrant department to now we're the model migrant in the whole valley. People actually come to us to see what innovative things we're doing, how are we keeping up the paperwork, what kind of projects do you have for the kids. So just yesterday I got a call from the lady from Westlaco. She's like, how are y'all getting, what are you doing to get drivers into gas? I said, well, hold on, we still have to go to board, but it is allowable. It's a service that we're providing the migrants. It's directly linked to the fact that they are travelers, and they need that license to get to their jobs. They need that license to further their education. So it is allowable by the grant. So we're very pleased. I'm very pleased with her work and her team. They've done a phenomenal job. So yes, you have. And I wanted them to know because it went from 0 to 100 in less than a year. So I'm very proud of them. And that's why we put so many people. Normally we wouldn't have money to go to this. Normally, we never had leftover. But because we got over $1 million, we're asking that we take the full group. We're not taking secretaries, obviously, but we're asking for recruiters, which are directly involved, all counselors, all teachers, strategists, coordinators,
Especially the
NGS,
NGS,
those are
the
the
ones
intake.
that, yes.
So that's why we're asking for that. It's a one in a million chance that we ever get to go. It is expensive, obviously.
It's networking with other people. We get ideas from other districts, from here, from the valley, but being exposed to other national, get ideas what they do in other places, so we can bring them to our district and service our students, and give more services.
Maybe one of these days you all could provide one of those workshops over there at the National Conference.
Oh, that would be
Especially that you all have so many
We're
great
doing so well.
ideas.
Yes.
And I think everybody here has experienced a conference, whether, national or state, and no matter where we go, we do find those kind of innovative ideas that, can strengthen our programs. And I'm a true believer that we need to go out there and find out what is in place already so that we don't reinvent, and then strengthening our programs actually is, essential to impact our students. So I am very blessed to have individuals like my administration that they have strengthened their programs, and they are passionate about what they do and all to provide services to the kids. So I really am blessed to have an administration that takes charge with their programs. So I can assure you that them going to any conference is to,
some
some people don't want to go, right? It is not something to go have a good time, it's actually work.
It's a lot.
You get up real early in the morning and you're just going from one session to the other, and in hopes that you get a chair, because there's so many people out there, so.
And the thing is that they have so many trainings and workshops that I want to
Wanna
attend
go
the
all
ones that,
Pertain to you.
me, but then there's more for IDNR, and I don't want to send my recruiters to IDNR. If there's something for NGS for them to go, because I cannot attend all of them and bring back all the information. Sometimes they're at the same time, the same, all the workshops, so I need the people to go to their respective trainings.
I've always been for staff development, conferences. I think that's what we really need.
And the parents, we have minor parents very involved in the program.
And they're willing to go?
Yes.
It used to be very hard to get the parents to go to a conference.
I had an impact meeting yesterday before the other meeting, and we met, and then we have the meeting for the drivers' education, so they attended both meetings.
So how many parents do you anticipate,
The-
if approved, that will be going?
Right now, 2. See, we have the impact,
Okay.
but from all of them, 2.
Represent
Yes.
the parents.
I guess we don't have those husbands anymore that
Back up.
Yeah.
Well, you know what, they're bringing the husbands too. Like, when we had the fundraisers that we had at the fair, for those 3 days that we stay there, one of the ladies had her husband helping us with everything. Yes, they're very
They're
involved.
getting involved too.
Good, because it's usually the woman who wants to, who's always looking for education or what's best for education. Okay, Kathleen? Okay, any other item?
Yes, we have Mr. Rolando Barrera here, and he's going to give you a briefing of yesterday's press conference that we had in the community in reference to COVID-19, the coronavirus.
Thank you for having me. Once again, this is a virus that's new and people are extremely on top of it. Okay? Just want to reassure you that our district is doing everything that it is supposed to be doing, whether it be cleaning of the schools, sending children home if sick, and also dispersing information. For example, today we send out a mass email to all our staff with all what our district is doing and all the information that is new coming from the CDC and the Department of Health. For example, yesterday also at that summit that we went to, we were able to obtain a lot of information that we're using ourselves. We do have a plan in place. Right now we are in the preparedness and planning. We're planning for it to get over here. I believe yesterday was the first time, the first case that was noted in Texas that was, they don't know where it came from. Okay? The other ones that were being housed here, we knew where it was from and it was contained. There was a case, I believe, yesterday in Houston that was identified yesterday. So this virus is spread like the flu, so we're taking measures the same way as we do the flu. We encourage quick hand washing many times throughout the day, preferably, especially before you go eat lunch or any type of food. We are disinfecting, routine disinfecting is what is recommended at the moment by the CDC and the Department of Health, which is what we do. We're also in the works of looking for other disinfectant supplies and materials. I believe it's like an e-mist piece of disinfectant, and a person walks with it and you're walking around the whole classrooms and hallways. So that could be something that we can buy to add to the helping of the disinfecting in the schools. Also,
Is there still merchandise like that? Because I know that they were out of Germex, not even the pharmacists could get it.
That's hard, yes.
The bottles for the Germex bottles, $400.
We had some information on it, so I asked him to get us some quotes to see what is the cost is.
Crazy.
I did get some quotes, but they're not complete. So they gave me the quotes of how much the machine, the equipment costs. But there is also some sort of liquid and disinfectant that will be used, that is used. So I'm pending that quote on what it would cost the
It
district.
looks like a blower.
Yeah, kind of like a fumigate.
Something like that.
Fumigate.
And it can be used for any areas that we're having like an increase of flu activity compared to other schools. Some schools get more flu activity than others. So we do look into later on how we would disperse that disinfectant throughout the time.
We also need to get each principal to make sure that they have everything available there, because I know that there was, and I haven't talked to you about it, but there was a concern that some classrooms did not have like tissues for the kids, and they had to go look for them. And so maybe the principal can check and make sure that they have their sanitizers, their Kleenex, and that the kids are washing their hands.
We sent out a memo 2 days ago. So please, during their daily announcements, to remind teachers, to remind students to take them to the bathroom before going to the cafeteria so that they can all wash their hands. That is not a routine that happens, but we wanted them to start that practice. We also...
Kind of like a safety,
Correct, yes, right. And we also put out a massive memo to parents. We posted on the webpage, we posted on school page, teacher page, where immediately you go into our district webpage, that's the first thing that you'll see. We are to serve our district webpage. We place it in our social media as well. In talking to the press yesterday, we will have a first responders meeting. We have it scheduled for next Monday. We will team up to come up with a plan as far as if it gets to that level, when that level gets to our community, if we were to close schools, what measures are we going to use to help parents at home with educating their children? So we are going to be instructing principals to identify the software program that they are to utilize for home base, making sure that every student has a login and username and password. But before that, to survey all of their children per classroom to see how many children do not have internet access, so that we could prepare a packet so that if we do close schools, kids be home with a packet of instructional materials that they can actually read, exercises to practice with, or parents can use those materials to reinforce teaching. In addition to that, we are going to, during the spring break, try to have 2 different groups of maintenance staff workers to disinfect the schools, just give it a good disinfecting before we come back from spring break. Am I leaving anything else out?
I recall doing that one year.
What the TSDS did mention was, and Mr. Vasquez, that there's 3 buckets that they're considering. The first one is, what are we going to do if we identify a case in Texas? Okay, and that's level 1, which is just preparing for it, with our washing of our hands and coughing into our elbow, not touching surfaces, not hugging and kissing, and try to do all those preventions. Bucket 2 would be if the state identifies a case 150 miles radius from our community, what would that approach be? And then the third bucket would be when it's identified in our community, what is that action going to be? So yesterday was the first meeting, which was just an awareness. There will be another meeting where there will be less people representing different organizations so that they can come up with a plan. If there were to find a case in our community, the TSDS has a plan that they will send a social worker and a nurse to the home, quarantine the patient and the family, and take care of the patient with administration of medication, monitoring, the individual container for the number of days that they need to be contained. They did reassure us that I guess some short research is that it has not affected children. It's been affecting individuals with respiratory problems, older people, but no children. So I think in a way it's a little relief for our school systems, but nonetheless, we assure the community that we will do, and I was speaking on behalf of the board and myself, that we will do whatever it takes. If our health director, health authority in our community says close schools, then that's what we'll do. In addition to that, I think that we've learned from H1N1 that it caught us by surprise, and we were trying to do things. Because we had, what I told the family, the community, was that we already implement these processes because late in October, I believe, we had, I think, 10 or 15 cases at Greer Elementary with the flu. So we went into level 2 where we just did a major disinfecting process. The children were at home until they had to, for the number of days that the physician said they needed to stay home. We had another case at Sanchez Elementary around December, and we had about 10 teachers with the flu, and then we had like another 10 kids, students with the flu at the same time. So there, we had another disinfecting. We supplied ourselves with Clorox wipes. At the moment, we have a pallet at maintenance department. We asked to reorder some more, and we are sending to the campuses. I know that Ms. Basan and Joe Smelly were in charge of getting the big Germex gallons purchased, and they were purchased and sent to the campuses. So we will make every effort to continue with the protocols that we have in place. I think we're ready and we're prepared, and I think we're just going to meet and make sure that the instructional component is there in the event that we would have to close. Anything else
You're
you'd like
going to
to
have
get?
to get on the media and start teaching.
Well, we even talked about some YouTube videos. Dr. Bob Alderman, Pastor Alderman told us, are y'all going to do YouTube videos? That's interesting.
Yeah, and
something
I'm
to
sure
consider.
some teachers have certain educational websites that they like to use with their kids and stuff.
And we can provide links to YouTube, TeacherTube, and there's a lot of
Khan
instructional
Academy
videos.
is awesome.
Khan Academy is awesome.
So everybody at every campus is doing their job. For example, the teachers are the ones that are most around the students, and they're the ones that are able to see this child is a little bit more sick or than usual. They send them to the nurse evaluates it. Sometimes they do have to go home, for example, they have a fever. And administration always helps us out. For example, the principals are always, how do I say this, take the nurse's opinion into account all the time, and they're always backing us up when a child needs to go home to get evaluated by the manager. So that would be continued example for this COVID-19. Once they're at the doctor would be the one to say, you know what, you're not going home, you're going to stay at your house, I'm going to follow up with you there. So we continue. Our nurses, everybody's doing great, principals, nurses, teachers.
But, and the teachers need to know that if they're sick, they need to stay.
Of course.
Because some of them say, no, I need to be there, I've got to go.
It's tough, yes, it's supporting us because they're doing something. They are aware, everybody is aware the measures to take at school and also to practice at home with their families as well. Because they also they're the voice in their home settings, and they need to also tell their husbands, other children that are not in school, to continue these practices. Avoid sick people if you're not sick, and if you're sick yourself, try to avoid getting others sick is what's recommended. And like Ms. Gassa said, right now, the virus hasn't attacked many school-aged children. It's mostly on the elderly that might have some morbid diseases or they're immunosuppressed. And all this can change, however. The virus changes and mutates and it can target different people. And of course, our plans can change at any time. feel the need that we need to address it.
Thank you for being on top of this.
And I also mentioned that TA has also taken action and has been very much involved with the TSDS and CDC, and they're monitoring all the cases in the state of Texas. They are in the process of developing a protocol to provide districts direction. Region 1 has also provided communication. Pretty much everybody is communicating the same protocol and preventive measures. We've had 3 meetings already as superintendents to discuss the urgency to take preventive measures. And again, everybody understands that it's not if, but when. So I think we're better prepared this time around than back then when we could have it each one in one.
Maybe newspaper ad to inform the community
Yes.
that we're preparing ourselves.
Well, yes, and I think we did give that directive to be placed in the newspaper.
I'm sure we'll do it, yes, of course.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Just committees,
Yes.
because y'all are doing a lot. Yeah, but like, I had no idea, y'all had gone through committees and already, the 3 buckets, and so,
And that just happened yesterday,
but that just brings the ease to the,
So at the, we would once again listen to the Department of Health or CDC on when to close schools. We can always decide ourselves amongst it if we, for example, notice a high amount of cases and we say, you know what, they haven't told us anything, we're still gonna do it ourselves. So we always have that option if ever we think.
A recommendation that we give to the board, we do that. Now, the question is, if we were to have, okay, just one school, or, like, we even talked about the flu, there's a certain percentage, and every school's percentage is different based on the enrollment. And the lower the enrollment, the higher the percentage, so we have to be careful with that. And that's what we're talking about, do we know exactly what to do in that event? Even if it's just a flu. And I said, that's something that we need to establish and already identify and have a solution for that.
yeah, well, the flu kills so many.
It has killed more than
More than-
18,000 people in the United States so far, and it's still flu season and it's still going. That's just the United States, so.
I guess because it is a new
It's a
thing.
new thing, and unfortunately, they're only reporting cases that are happening, not the ones that are recovering or at home already. It's something to think about once again we're ready. We're also preparing for field trips. We have field trips that people, for example, middle schools go to New York and Washington, D.C. At the moment, there is no travel ban for us to not go, all right? And if, for example, a parent decides, you know what, I don't want to put my child at risk, of course, that is their decision, and we'll take it from there once we get to, for example, a parent that doesn't want to do
I
that.
know there was some concerns there was a parent there, I believe, she had concern about, well, what if a May trip to New York, and I said, well, if it comes to that point where there's an urgency for us to stop and come, we will stop. Then the district will have to pick whatever commitments we, are going to reach, but we will take care of it. It's the safety of the children first. I know that we had yesterday, Region 1 text the different districts wanted to know if we were limiting or canceling trips. And basically, my response was no. We have scheduled trips within our local community and a few that, maybe Corpus or San Antonio, but at the moment, because they're needed trips, for advancements in different competitions, but we will take whatever measures need to be taken depending on what transpires close to the date of the trip. So I think we will still take all precautions.
Very good.
Right, anything Anything else? Okay. Ms.